How's it going, everybody? Today we are going to talk about the iPhone X versus the iPhone 8. There's a lot of people coming into the store asking, what's the difference? What do we get? What do we get with each one? Well, let's go through a few of the facts and then decide if you want to pay the $1,000 price for a fantastic phone, or the $700 price for a still really good phone. The iPhone X was released in November. The pre-order started late October, released in November. iPhone 8 was only about a month behind. It was released late September, about a month and a half behind, but they still both are top of the line brand new devices. They both have a front back glass enclosure, so they have an enclosure for the glass that goes all the way across on each one, so you still got that glossy feel, very stylish, very nice. The iPhone X, that's going to have a stainless steel enclosure, whereas the iPhone 8, that's going to have an aluminum enclosure. Makes it it's kind of the same thing. In terms of how it feels, it's going to feel pretty much the same. The glass enclosure obviously takes over whatever kind of metal is on the inside. As you can tell, in terms of screen size, the iPhone X is obviously the clear winner. If you're somebody who wants the screen to take over the entire phone, the iPhone X is the way you want to go. The bezel goes all the way from the bottom to the top, just has a little piece right there, but other than that, it takes over the whole screen. The iPhone 8, the screen size is 4.7, whereas the iPhone X, the screen size is 5.8. You can clearly see the difference in sizes there. Going off all angles, there is still a pretty strong bezel and the iPhone 8 all around, whereas they took off a big chunk of the surrounding bezel for the iPhone X, making it very sleek and stylish. And in terms of the screen size, I mean, we've gotten to the point where these screens are all phenomenal. By 2017, it's really hard to find a bad screen on the flagship device. But the iPhone 8 is going to be an LED backlit LCD. The iPhone X is going to be Super AMOLED. Super AMOLED provides a little bit clearer resolution, but who are we kidding? Unless you're a heavy gamer on these games, or you want to watch everything in almost 4K resolution, it doesn't really matter at this point. Both of the resolutions on both screens are going to be amazing. At this point, it really just comes down to size. So would you like the smaller 4.7, the bigger 5.8? I know everybody has their own feelings as to how they like their phone in their pocket, their back pocket, their purse. So this really helps out with that kind of stuff. Now, in terms of what's inside, they both have the A11 newest processing chip. So you don't have to worry about one being faster than the other or one having better internals than the other. The A11 right now is Apple's strongest processing chip. It's super quick. Anything you press, anything you touch is going to pop up right away. You don't ever have to worry about it being sluggish. And with knowing Apple, it's going to stay that way for a long time before it ever gets sluggish. And inside, you're going to have an IP67 rating on both of them. IP67 is the standard on most flagship devices, so they are both going to be water resistant. Now, in terms of water resistance, IP67 does mean you can submerge it 1 meter 30 minutes. I highly recommend against that. Really, with IP67 ratings, you want to leave it as far away from water. It's more of if it drops into a puddle, if you spill some water on it, then you're okay. I have seen people take underwater pictures with their kids. I have seen people who dive into lakes with them. Bad idea, always a bad idea. Eventually the seals do start to wear out, and then you lose the water rating. Also, water rating is freshwater rating. You have people go to the beach, and then they come back and they have water damage and can't figure out why, because it's a new phone and it's water resistant. It's fresh water. Salt does start to wear on the seals. Just a little side note. So you want to make sure that if you're at the beach, if you're at an ocean, if you're in Miami or wherever where you're at the ocean, keep it away from the salt water that will start to wear on the seals. Make sure you have a good waterproof case on it, so you don't have to worry about your device very much. Now, Apple likes everything to be wireless. That being said, there is no memory card. Everything should go onto your iCloud. You do have 64 gigs and 256 as the options for both of them. 64 gigs, if you're an average user, is fine. Most phones, the standards for a long time was 16 gigabyte. and most people were okay with that. When they went to the 32, that really gave a lot of people a lot of room to play with. So 64 shouldn't be an issue for most people. However, if you're somebody who does heavy games or heavy video editing, anything that takes up a lot of memory and a lot of storage, or if you're somebody who takes 200 selfies in the morning before you head out, you might want to go for the 256. In either case, you have iCloud, so you don't really have to worry about where you store your stuff. iCloud and iTunes will definitely take care of you, so you are all good there. The other thing that got a few people upset was no audio jack. Now, in terms of audio jacks, they did take that away. They took that away with the 7. It doesn't look like it's coming back. They added the extra speakers on both of them. Obviously, they want you to get Bluetooth. They want to get you their Apple AirPods. Really, any Bluetooth is going to work with them. I use a Samsung. Actually, I use a Samsung headphones, and they work fantastic with these phones. So any kind of Bluetooth will work. Apple AirPods are their version of it, so if you want to get that, definitely go ahead and get that. They made room for the extra speakers, so you're all good there. In terms of charging, everybody's upset. And I know I see a lot of people are upset that you can't charge your phone and play music at the same time, especially because the battery on the iPhone 8 is 1800 milliamps. The battery on the iPhone X is 2800 milliamps. So it doesn't have a phenomenal battery. So people get upset that they can't charge and do the headphones at the same time. Apple fixed it, I guess, a patch that they put on it. These are wireless charging now. So you just put them on a wireless charging pad now and you're all good. They do sell portable wireless chargers. So while it's in your purse, it's charging. They have the car chargers now, where it's a little holder that you put in the car and it's charging. All of these can be found at a Best Buy, Walmart, AT&T, any store that sells products for the iPhone X. So just get a wireless charging pad. It's very, very convenient. As long as the phone is near the charging pad on it somehow, you're all good. So if it's in your purse, in some cases if it's in your pocket, you're all good there too. Because of course with the 1800 milliamp that you have here and the 2700 milliamp you have on the iPhone X, battery is going to be very limited, so you're going to want to make sure you have some kind of portable charger with you, so you don't have to worry about running to an outlet and then finding out there is none around you. The last thing we're going to talk today about is the camera. The camera is fantastic. You don't have to worry too much about anything. It is a phenomenal camera. Back camera is 12 megapixels with a 1.8 aperture. Same thing on the iPhone X. Obviously, if you have an iPhone, you know that they take phenomenal video. They take really good video. The filters that they add to them are really good also. So you don't have to worry about any issues there with the camera. The front camera is now 7 megapixels on both of them with the aperture of 2.2. Aperture allows for more light to come in. Really adds on to the quality of the phones. So you don't have to worry really that you're getting a lousy camera, that they haven't expanded anything on the camera. There really isn't too much that you need to expand on this camera. The filters do a great job of changing the camera style out. Also, last thing I do want to mention, there is no more home button on the X. So if you're somebody who likes the home button, that is gone. It's going to be this little bar down here. The little bar itself is going to take you back to the home screen. So you go there, you touch the little bar, swipe up, gone. So that's a nice little feature that they did. They took away the home button altogether. Also, in a regular iPhone, you double tap the phone and then you can kill off the apps. Whereas in the iPhone X, you hold up, you get that little piece to come up and then everything comes up that way. It's a little bit trickier. Once you get used to it, you're fine. Once you get that little piece to come up, then you press and hold on everything and you get these little red X's, and then from there you can just kill off the stuff that you're not using. It's a little bit more tedious than it was before, where it was just swipe. Now you actually have to press on those little dots. You can't really swipe on that, whereas before you just kill them off really quickly. But outside of that, both phones are going to be pretty similar. The really outstanding portion of the X is going to be that the screen takes up the entire phone and that it's a little bit bigger. So it fits the people who want the 8 but think the 8 is just a little bit too small, and want the 8 Plus but think the 8 Plus is just a little bit too big. The iPhone X is a good compromise between both of them. Highly recommend it. I don't know if you want to pay the $1,000 price tag, but if you do have the money to spare on this phone, it is going to be future proof for a very long time. It is going to stay fast for a very long time. There have been some issues with it drop, so please get a case. The glass enclosure is not fun if this thing breaks on both of them. If the glass enclosure breaks, I'm hearing stories where the replacement costs half of the price of the phone itself. So please get a really good solid case on it, just to make sure that you're protected for everything. You guys have a good evening. I hope this helped out.